Greetings, one and all. I'm going to do a quick test because things are glitching a little bit. Oh no. Did I get stuck? I did. Well, interesting. Okay, let's test one more thing. And since that happened, having that happen kind of makes me want to. Okay, maybe not. We're going to be doing something different, something that I've been doing on my own, but something I've never streamed before. We're going to be doing some coding tonight. Now, we have done coding for Fortnite, but not for web-based coding. Now, that is the thing that I'm very familiar with. I'm by no means an expert, but I am somebody who spends a lot of time practicing on a daily basis, so hopefully it will be interesting for those that maybe want to see what that's like. I'm going to take a moment to share this out now that I got everything kind of operational. Okay, it gave me a chance also to double check that that is still going on the YouTube side because I have had some problems with that in the past. Fortnite followed by coding. Hello, there we go. Aha. That was bound to happen sooner or later. Times are changing. The world is changing. And you know, that hurts. There we go. All operational. All right. Off to the ground below. Ooh, quite the pickup for the first item. Ooh, I grabbed it on the firing. Did absolutely nothing to me. Interesting. Everything feels really sensitive right now. Was there an update? Yeah, that has to be slowed down just a little bit. Just a tad. Ugh. It's already pretty low. Hey, you know what? We'll get used to it. Might be a Windows update that took place. Ouch. So the coding is going to be a unique thing. I've never really had a chance to try and code something from the ground up that was playable. I've only done web stuff, and this time it's going to be a bit of a game. And it's a style that I've been wanting to do in it for a long time. It's kind of an old-fashioned Game Boy style. And I finally figured it out, and no real surety that it's going to work tonight very well, so that's why it's a partial stream for it. Ooh, time to boogie. Seem to be a couple of control issues here. Man, this is so very weird to have this acting up so. So right now, this game seems to be causing problems on the main map, and so right now I'm kind of stuck on this one. Well, I am doing terrible. Should have gotten with 2 or 3 shots, not the whole, basically a whole clip. Oh well. You didn't have any health, did you? Nope. Time to take to the air. By the way, I was going through my OBS settings, and I came across something from a while back. Oh. Well, you were in a bad way. I came across something that I had done back in the early days of streaming, and it was very interesting to get to see some of those old setups. Man, was my setup archaic. But man, it is so nice to actually be able to make your own tools and not have to rely upon third-party stuff that causes problems, because everything that I had that was a third-party tool has been broken. And everything that I built myself basically has been functional. Oh, hello. Come on over. Uh-oh. Never mind. I'm out. No, I don't want to play with you anymore. You're very dangerous. You're a savage. Stop shooting at people. But one of those things was actually this piece of music that I had. I started having problems with all the stream elements that I was using, and so I started using downloaded music to be able to solve the problem. Well, this is now run through the Silverado tool, and so that way I have more control over it. It loops properly. It doesn't have too many issues that takes place. In fact, the number of issues has basically been able to be counted on both hands. Oh, that sounds like a lot. Well, when you take into the fact that now we've been at hundreds of streams, that's actually not bad. Especially when stream elements caused a problem like every day. Man, that thing is frustrating. But I did find some other things that I had, including some old notifications about the coming of the Castercraft website. That was something I posted about 2 years ago now. I was still in the process of saying, hey, something's coming, and then the website came out, and I think people were like, oh, well, that's not quite what we were expecting, but it has changed my streaming system dramatically. So was it the most exciting thing in the world? Absolutely not. But man, did it make things so much nicer. Brother Arx was shot by a frostbitten. Gotta watch out for frostbitten. Oh, I should have had that earlier. Okay, game seems to be functioning a little bit more normally. I think I just had to readjust. Well, there's going to be a discussion point that I try and have later on. I'm still debating what that's going to be, so I'm not going to give any lead up like I've been doing the last couple of months. But I will say this. I have been finding it fascinating over the last couple of days to see that there is a growing sense of resentment against anything Christmas. Maybe you've seen this yourself, but it's surprisingly all over the place. In fact, I would dare say it is on the rise. The kind of like the Scrooge effect, you could say. The number of people who just find it find Christmas something repulsive, those people are increasing. And that, in a big part, comes from the culture changing. And that's deeply concerning because as the culture changes, things are going to start getting more and more difficult for Americans. It may not seem like much now, especially if you're someone who's like, oh, the commercialness of Christmas is getting to me. I'm kind of fine just to let it go. Just wait until you're forced to have to celebrate a different holiday. It's going to be no fun. Especially as you start to get nostalgic. And there is something to be said for nostalgia, especially for cultural events such as Christmas. It takes over our entire nation. And it is a truly beautiful sort of holiday. But yet there are still people who cannot stand it. And one day, like I said, they're going to resent that. And they're going to come back and say, hey, you know what? It wasn't so bad after all. And that will be after maybe it's outlawed. Oh, it's completely possible. It could very well happen within our lifetime that events like Christmas start to become outlawed. It has been in some countries. Oh, not directly. Oh, no. But indirectly. Yes, it has. Yeah, not worth it. Yeah, I got a pretty nice setup here. So we'll be doing this for about an hour. And then like normal, we'll be shifting the stream halfway through and continue on with the coding aspect. Now, during this evening stream, I'll be doing some artwork, pixel artwork, which I'm still trying to get better at. Ooh, airplane. Oh, so close. Trying to get better at that. Oh, I'm not doing this. Phooey. Overcorrection. It happens. Anyway, so pixel art is going to be involved. I'm going to be doing this in JavaScript. I'm not very good at other game coding languages, especially since I don't know how to actually share them with people. That's one of the most frustrating aspects of coding. Some pieces of code work for one system, one for another. And previewing it is surprisingly complex. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do a test here. All right. Testing. Okay, yeah. I had some problems where the X broadcast was having problems. I've noticed not a whole lot of people interact with with X when it comes to streaming. Although I think it is going to start improving. I have been seeing more people utilizing it as of late. And it's not the one I would prefer to use, but we left Twitch a couple of months back. I kind of regret it, but at the same time, ethics were getting to the point of where I couldn't overlook it anymore because we were dealing with a lot of violent rhetoric. And I've only seen that on two platforms, Twitch and Rumble. And Rumble has at least cleaned up its act a little bit. Twitch, not so much. It's getting worse as time has gone on. That's not worth anything. Now, the place that this game is going to become is going to be posted is going to be on the website. It's one of the neat things about having your own website, especially one that you code from the ground up. You have the ability just to add in things for the fun of it. And the goal is to use it with the terminal animations I did a while back. I don't know how many people will actually use it. I just wanted to learn the process because I had some other ideas I really want to explore, and I needed to have the coding background to actually make it work. There you are. Come back. I want to dance. Oh, so close. Oh, just anonymous? Whoop-de-doo. Oh, no. There we go. Real player that time. Hark. Oh, there's a lot of planes in the air. Not going to be able to take those down. Making things for the fun of it is kind of interesting. There's a lot of times where you'll... Oh, hello. There's a lot of times you'll have an idea, and you're not quite sure what to do with it. And when you put it out there, there's not much interest. I've been on the receiving end of that realization quite a bit. And I gotta say, it can get incredibly frustrating. You have an idea and then it doesn't actually pan out. It's kind of life, though, as a whole, when you think about it. The number of people that have success are surprisingly few people. And you could be a genius and still have immense frustrations and failures. Oh, hello. Oh, that was complete luck there. Are you doing a campfire back there? You are. You're trying to burn the place down. Ah, phooey. The build aspect is so silly. They just pop up in a moment. Dumbest game mechanic out there. That's why you need melee items, because that helps to eliminate that nonsense. Especially when you look at pro tier play, all it is reflex, spin, place. And they don't really even pay a whole lot of attention to what's going on. If you are being strategic, you can take them out pretty easily, but you have to have the right items for that. But then it's all reliant upon the items you can find. If you don't have the items, well, good luck. It's one of the reasons why the fire was a good option, because the fire would help to eliminate those structures a lot easier. But of course, people are going to complain about that, and thus they got rid of it. So ideas that don't pan out. There are many people who will have an idea, and they're certain that it's going to be a wild success. I had an idea that I thought, well, it won't be a wild success. I just kind of hope that it is semi-successful. And it promptly was not. And then that process happened again, and again, and again. Eventually, you start to learn that, success is not an amount of effort. If it was, well then, after you've done 100, 200, 1,000 hours of work, that means that you should automatically find success, right? No. See, there's something I learned about having an idea. You can't just have a good idea. I have many ideas that I believe wholeheartedly are going to be good. I think they could be big. Who cares? Like, honestly, who actually would care to see that? And that's the thing that over the last couple of years I've had to come to terms with, especially with the introduction of AI. There's a lot of people, they're like, we don't want people to be creative anymore. We all are the creatives now. Kind of like that, what's that movie called? The one about the Somali pirates that have attacked. I'm the captain now. Now everyone else wants to say, I'm the creator now. I'm the creative. I don't need someone to come up with a story for me. I'll just come up with the story myself, and everyone will love it. And then it inevitably doesn't pan out, and then they get frustrated about, well, I put the time and effort in. Why does no one care about it? Because now everyone can do it. That's the problem. This is the same problem all of us artists and storytellers are having right now. No one wants what you can offer. And that is... it's a tough realization to have. Someone mentioned a while back, you should make your own game. And I do have a couple of game ideas. And like, you should just start coding it. It'll be a success. Well, every time I've tried to make something, big, small, the amount of interaction was all tied to one thing. Clout. I hate clout. Clout is a form of pride and fame that are mixed together to resemble career advancement. That's not a good way to live, and causes a lot of problems. So the people that I know who are successful have bad ideas, in my opinion. Oh no, someone's here. Come on. Walls are so dumb. Especially when there's a lot of holes in the wall. It's like you should be able to shoot through it, technically. If that can happen, that wouldn't be an issue. Go out and try and build yourself an actual fort. Let's see how hard it is for you. I remember building a fort when I was a kid. My dad was the great architect of it, and it was a pretty neat fort, all things considered. Where's your wall now? You wasted it. You had a way to escape, and you chose not to. See, that's because the players like that have no strategy. They like to think they have strategy. All they have is, well, honestly, it's a gimmick. They don't like to think of it like that. They think of it as strategy. And no, a hammer, that's a gimmick. Anyway, clout is the way that you get your ideas off the ground. But it's not a healthy way, because once people realize you don't have an idea, well, it's over. So thus, when you have an idea, you can't just rush in with it, because it's not going to work. It really won't. And so the people that said, hey, you should try and make a game, but for who? Who would actually play it? So things like this are like experiments. It's small, and it's like, does it work? Do people have an interest in it? Yes, no. In terms of how people have an interest, for example, most of the streams that take place from, by the way, I don't stream on Monday and Tuesday a whole lot, and there is a reason why. No one's around. So, is streaming a good idea when there is very little chance of that happening? Well, there's other reasons to stream, and sometimes it's because you're trying to keep a record. For me, that's what I've been treating streaming like for these sorts of days. It's not that the fact that there are people here watching, which I think that there could be someone here, but I don't know. The big focus is trying to document it, because right now, authenticity is really hard to have these days. And by going back and saying, hey, I had this idea during this time frame and I was working on it on stream, then it gives people the opportunity to say, yes, okay, you are actually doing something that you said you were going to. Things like that. But I point that out not to say necessarily that, oh, it needs to be more, there needs to be a larger audience. No, I'm pointing it out as you can have something that you offer, but it doesn't mean that someone's going to actually care about it. It doesn't mean that it's actually going to change anyone's perspective. It doesn't mean that it's going to improve anyone's life. If anything, it's just kind of like noise in the background for some folks. Again, not a problem. But it can get to be a problem when you have a product that you're trying to make. Oh no. Hello, thank you. Oh no, someone's here. Just in case he was going to come back. I cannot aim like that. That was close. Where'd he go? I cannot aim at close range like that when I'm looking down the sights. Anyway, cloud. It's important for trying to get an idea off the ground. But it's bad for your psychological well-being. What am I referring to? There's a guy that I used to follow. He had all the clout and none of the ideas. He was wildly successful, and everyone treated him as if he was a genius. That being said, time proved out otherwise, and people were trying to defend him left and right, like, oh, but he's such a genius. Oh, we need more smart people like this guy. And the whole time, he didn't have an idea what he was doing. Now, I'm not just saying that to try and say, oh, well, I think that I was smarter than him or something. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the idea that if you become so self-focused, it becomes very hard to try and come up with an idea, because you're not going to be critically thinking about it. You're going to very quickly write off any negative opinions people have about it as, oh, they just don't understand my vision, and it becomes a pride issue. That's the real problem. It matters because our world is full of opportunities for us to become prideful. I've seen people of good intentions become wildly prideful. Including humble people. Why is there a rocket on the back of this if you don't have a boost? This thing is super slow. Guess it's because it's the OG map. Ooh, gold. Wading in the water. So as such, I've been trying to be careful about putting something out there and trying to rely upon just the bare bones to make it work, but also not to rely upon clout and not have an idea. I'm trying to find that fine balance, and in truth, I think I'm failing it. But, you know, it's not like there's a roadmap. Every time you hear someone who's got a lot of clout tell you how to be a success, it usually means that they don't know themselves. They're just saying what worked for them. Well, things never work same time twice. Something else always has to happen. Otherwise, you'd have everyone be equally successful. For example, let's say that you came out with the... recently, I was just playing the Battlefield 6. Let's say you came out with a Battlefield-like game or COD-like game, and you're like, oh, this is going to be the best in the world. I followed the roadmap of how all these other game developers have done it. We made the game perfect. We have, like, all these loot items that you can collect over time to show you how much of a pro you are. The game's well-balanced, and then no one plays your game. Was it a bad idea? Not necessarily. I mean, you did what everyone else did. But that's the problem. You did what everybody else did. It lacks originality. You need originality to make something stand out. Otherwise, what's the point? Why play your game over the alternative? You have to be forewarned that this can happen. Otherwise, you as a creative will end up being greatly disappointed as time goes on. Hello. Oh, look at that maneuver. Oh no, oh no, no. I love how flimsy these vehicles are. So goofy. Oh, did you fall off? Boo-hoo. Ah, almost. Oh, look, your legs work. Isn't that amazing? Go with one more, then we'll wrap it up. So you have to have a good idea. Sometimes you have a good idea, though, and nobody cares. There was an artist that I met years ago. He's the one that I really came to realize this possibility. And he was really good at what he did. He had an idea. He made it as cleanly and as well done as he could. When it came time to publish, he realized very quickly there was no one. No one came for it. It was unique. It was one of a kind. But it failed at the ability to get any sort of momentum because it lacked clout. He lacked clout. A couple years ago, I started to earn some clout in a roundabout way. Then it all ended very, very quickly. I thought for a second that maybe this was going to be the moment where everything was going to turn around, where there would be actually the ability to try and make some of the dreams a reality. And then God was like, nope, not time. And it all came to an end very, very abruptly. Ah, shoot. Swerving too much. It is interesting, though. I've noticed a lot of people who do find success many times are doing it for themselves and not because they really have a passion for a project. And sure, that's their choice. Ooh, this is pretty interesting place. Not been in here. What? You can't open that? Interesting. Sure looks like you could. Ooh. Fancy room. That would be a plane crashing into the wall. Oh, I lost my shotgun. The majority of the battles I've been winning is with this. Interesting. That's a lot of damage. So if you have a good idea, you also risk losing it. There are people out there that are idea thieves. Many times there are people with clout and fame, and no one's going to catch them. Disney's been guilty of that. Oh, but no one can really accuse them. Even though there is a lot of evidence that they have over the years. But there are some times where a small-time person comes up with an idea and the timing is just the same as someone else. And then they get all bent out of shape, like, hey, this was my idea. You can't really argue that sort of thing. Ideas are going to come about same sort of time frame. Now, if there's too many similarities, that's when the problems really start to become apparent. But sometimes you get a small-time creator who then sues a bigger company because they think that somehow they can get a little piece of that success. One of those was a French author who was trying to claim that Finding Nemo was his property and that Pixar had stolen it. Now, he made a book, a picture book that apparently was very, very, very similar. But after people actually reviewed it, they realized, no, it's actually very different, and he was just suing because he wanted to see if he could make out big. Well, that's a problem. You can have a great idea, someone else beats you to it, and then you realize it was better, and then you lash out because you think you can get something. Big problem. Oh, hey. Didn't realize this was here. Who's on that roof? A present. Oh, wow. It's the same old garbage that's across the entire map. Give me something special. That's a little bit nicer. A bush. Well, that's just sticks. All right, maybe that was a bad pun. I like this winter area. Makes me feel nostalgic for Alaska. Oh, wait, I'm in Alaska. It just feels like I'm outside. There's some areas of Alaska that are snows, that are just snow laden and full of frost. Absolutely stunning, beautiful vistas. Thankfully, I'm in an area that's relatively close to that, so I can see it on a regular basis. Hello? It's a bot. Caspian. Home, skeleton. Oh, no. Blast. Whatever. All right, we're going to go over to the coding here. Back to lobby. Not a very long stream for that, but whatever. That's fine. Please rate how quickly you earn XP. I don't really know. Not like I pay attention to that. All right. And we'll leave up this particular screen here. Right. Where is that? The game. Keep my notes off to the side. And the code. They said the code. Come on. Ah, there we go. All right, so this thing was causing some problems a little bit ago, so let's see if it's operational again. All right, let's put that on mute. Okay, we have a problem. That's because I was experimenting, trying to figure out a problem that I was encountering. Aha, here's the game. Pull up that so I can see errors. Make sure that this is visible. It is indeed. All right, this is our wonderful game. Top notch, high quality, and the character turns white whenever he collides with something, and I have no idea why. Now, if you walk past it, that doesn't happen because it happens in a blink of an eye. Don't worry, I'll walk. If you have any questions about this, we'll cover it. This has been a lot of fun to make, honestly. I've learned a lot. But there's a couple of regular problems that I'm having to deal with. Okay, so let's start off by trying to troubleshoot why the character blinks like this. kind of feels like when I was coding the Fortnite game, which we were doing a mini game initially, and the code kept glitching on me. And I was like, the rails on the Fortnite Unreal Engine were so locked. You couldn't do anything on your own. This, by contrast, has no rails. So thus, all the challenges have a solution, and it all falls upon me to try and figure it out. Sometimes you'll be successful, sometimes you won't. Right now, I know that it did work a while back. I'm hoping I can get it to work again. You know, there's something fascinating that I've noticed with the streaming world. Remember what I said about clout? I mean, not like anyone's really paying attention right now, but there was a guy who came to the streams twice, joined our Discord, and then started spamming a lot. Oh, he spammed a lot. He did more posts than about everyone else combined. It was all self-promotion. It was all clout chasing. It was all masked with humility, which was part of what made it so ironic. If you're going to claim to be humble, you shouldn't be the one that is trying to do self-promotion at every turn. Well, I finally got tired of it, and so I just disabled the ability for people to share stuff on one channel. In a rage, the guy left. Problem solved. But it is ironic. Clout chasing has kind of an earmark. And I do find it very curious. I find it very curious how upset people get if you take that away from them. Very intriguing indeed. I'll bet if I went over, he would be trying to brag about how humble he is and whatnot. Only to find out that his motivations were not necessarily the most honorable. I used to try and not have an issue with that sort of stuff. Then I realized it's very unhealthy and causes a lot of people a lot of grief. That's what made me kind of turn against that sort of that mentality. Not because I'm trying to gatekeep things, but more like I see the problems that it can cause and how it can just like eat into somebody. That's my big concern. Anyway, like I said, glad the problem solved itself.